Hey guys, Ranshin here, bringing on Zarkov commentary. This is going to be the final match in Group E of the Ro32 of the Ranshin MSL. Or that's right, it's the Ranshin MSL. The Ranshin MSL 2010 spring season. It's going to be on Fighting Spirit. This is going to be between Best and MVP rematch time. At the upper left-hand corner, we're going to have in purple the Terran player MVP. At the bottom right-hand, we're going to have the Protoss player Best in brown. And so Best almost lost to MVP in the first set, managed to beat him, did a very nice comeback with very heavy carriers, really showed very nice heavy carrier control, and showed that Triathlon is really a very nice map for carriers. Really a lot of ridges to abuse, a lot of space for carriers to run. As long as they don't fly around the middle, there's pretty much endless space for them to abuse. Let's see, Sinkin 46, 47, 48, you know, you gotta find your little bit just in case. But yeah, really managed to abuse the middle here. Not quite the same thing here on Fighting Spirit, not as much, and also just a lot of distance between the two players. So carriers not as likely to come to play, much more likely to use arbiters. Fighting Spirit, I find a much better map for arbiters, just good old standard arbiter play. So yeah, MVP should have been able to fight him back in the first set, but just couldn't manage to. Right, you know, I'd really like to like have a silent moment for the loss of Stork, but I can't because the background noise would still be going on, and yeah, I'm not good enough with Windows Movie Maker to do stuff like that. And Sony Vegas just is too much of a pain to make StarCraft videos on. So sorry. So whatever. I'm expecting pretty standard play from both guys. We're going to see the fighter alongside the Barracks come up for MVP. It could be 12 next, almost at 12 hatch. 12 next, I believe, yet again from Best. On a 4-player map, he did this on a 3-player map, but he feels confident nonetheless to do this here. Win off two bases. He did this last time. Stork, unfortunately, did not manage to do it against MVP in the losers match, but MVP played beautifully in that one. Expanded like crazy, still managed to keep his army up, really expanded quickly, took his natural, and kept mining only one gas, getting just one factory, focusing heavily on vultures, expanded a second time, then not too far off afterwards, expanded a third time, so I think he had 4 bases by 15 minutes in that game. So, yeah, just under 15, I believe, so it's insane. Gonna see him sending out a CV scout as he puts down his factory. Gonna build at least one marine. Gonna see how many, whether it decides to go one fac into Expo and maybe push out with 5-6 marines and a tank and a vulture maybe. Best for unfortunately. Okay, I thought it was an idle probe. Yeah, sometimes you click a probe, you click it on the simulator, and if you click a probe on a simulator before the simulator completely finishes morphing in, they just kind of stop in front of the simulator and don't do anything. So you got to be careful with that. Okay, my coffee's still too hot, burns my tongue. I just finished a shift of work, so I come back home. I feel I need some coffee because I need to commentate some StarCraft. And then I'm going to do some homework, so not a lot of sleep for me tonight. Because when I came home from school today, I accidentally took a 2-hour nap on my couch. Whoops-a-daisy, but that does happen sometimes. So I'm going to meet today's CV, and somehow I feel a lot more in control of myself. It's dark, have some coffee, I finished work, I feel a lot more excited to cast some StarCraft than during the day when it's light and it feels wrong. This V-Scout gonna come in there, definitely gonna know it's a 12 next, like, oh, this dude gonna try to get up the ramp with Zealot behind it in front of it. It's not gonna manage to do that. Bed's going fairly standard, gonna get the goon range going. Probably gonna add in a second gateway and tech up and continue to start getting his goons out. First initial vulture out there. We're gonna see what it goes for mines. Tries to do a strategy like he did on the first map, getting his machine shop going. And my phone is ringing now, but that doesn't matter. I don't know why they constantly do that. Vulture gonna almost got picked off. Did manage to pick off one probe without doing too much else. But hey, one probe already a worthy sacrifice to the gods. I suppose second gateway is on the way. We're gonna see where he decides to tech after that. Most likely gonna go for observers before anything else, because didn't really manage to get a scout inside of MVP's base. Not that I noticed. Let's see, MVP always died this time. He scouts in the first set against. Yeah, we do see that robotics facility coming up. But yeah, in the first match, MVP didn't scout Best at all. Didn't even send an ACV scout out. He just waited until his comm stations were up. So that's insane. He's going to expand at 12 o'clock. I think he was building a command center close to float over to his natural expo as well. So I think he's double expanding. I mean, usually one base terran, basically sticking to equal bases against a protoss player will give you a slight economic edge. But in general cases, but he's wanting, I want more bases. He's going to pick up a third. He thinks, by going his heavy expansionistic style, he's going to be able to win this match. He's going to plant some mines around, trying to defend himself with them. Going to get an initial tank. So probably going to be seeing his factory production kick in like crazy. Academy going up. He's going to start scanning. Going to get 3 comp stations, 1 comp station in every base. Go out there with scans and vultures. Try to be harassing. Try to be annoying. Best meanwhile has 4 dragoons so far, a couple alongside those 2 zealots. So at the very least, he's going to be able to prevent those vultures from doing anything. Vulture's just going to come across the bridge. Going to try to force those dragoons, I think. And then 1 vulture. Oh, nice. And managed to sneak 1 vulture inside the main. It's not going to be able to pick off any probes, I think. Maybe 1 at most, because the dragoons are going to follow it up. But at the very least, he's going to manage to get the full scout. Solid robotics facility coming up. Still keeping up his economy going. Yeah. I think he lost his vulture. They're already going to pick up his second gas. While the observatory is up there for Best, so he's going to get some observers out there, adding an Citadel of Dune so far. So he's going to also start focusing on speed, probably get his Templar archives out there and work on his higher tech. Probably going to want to work on his 3rd base soon as well. I'm not quite sure. I don't think he's spotted at 12 o'clock yet. I don't think he knows about MVP 12 o'clock. And so far with what MP's doing, it's not really very easy to tell for a Protoss player whether a Terran has expanded a 2nd time so far, because he hasn't gotten an observer inside that base. I think as soon as he gets an observer inside the base, he's going to, oh crap, there's a base out there somewhere else. But we're going to see MVP aggressively start putting down factories very soon. This is very much like his build against Stork. Citadel Dune almost up alongside 2 gateways coming up as well. And so far, oh yeah, an engineering bay alongside the barracks, protecting at the front. So he's going to be using his siege tanks, B10, a lot of buildings to defend himself with. Probably going to see him popping down 3 factories just right next to each other. Very soon he's going to start pumping troops very heavily. Going to go most likely for a heavy vulture army alongside tank pump, maybe from 1 factory when he's got 5, maybe then adds in a second one. Stargate coming up alongside Templar Archives. This most likely is going to be Arbiter, 2-base Arbiter. And I think Best is also moving out to 6 o'clock to start expanding there. Does have his observer coming out, going to spot the defensive position. Maybe he's thinking, okay, there's not quite enough troops. I think he should have more troops at this point. An additional factory, at least, generally out of 2 bases, a Terran will get more factories. But when he expand this aggressively, when he gets his 3rd base very early, he's going to be on, will have a lower factory count earlier on. But he's going to be able to go very crazy on the factories very soon. So MVP doing a pretty good job of still staying on these 2 bases. Has a decent defensive posture all over the place. Observer finally going to spot this 3rd. Best will not like this position for himself very much at all. There we go. There are the factories coming down, initial factories. So Best is going to react by trying to pick up a 3rd. He's going to want to expand very aggressively. Might even think of picking up the 3 o'clock position as well. I think he has something sent there. So he's going to definitely want to pick up something. Best is a very aggressive expander. Does have an Arbiter Tribunal on the way, so he is going to go for Arbiters, but he's really going to need a stronger economy to support this alongside a decent ground army. Not quite sure if he's put any forges up yet, because he will want to start getting at least some upgrades for his ground army as well, because I think soon enough MVP will putting down his armories to start getting more upgrades. 2 additional gateways so far, and yeah, there we go, the forge going to get some upgrades going. MVP's armory also going to get a little bit delayed because he's going to want to start pumping troops before he really starts getting the upgrades for them. While the Protoss player at the very least will be able to have an upgrade advantage earlier on. But still, MP has a lot of vultures out there, planting down mines, has siege tanks, has a not very large army so far, but Best really doesn't have any sort of army to really go in and push. Because Protoss player, you might want to instead just tech up, try to get something like there. You see those aggressive factories, wow.